I welcome you all with love and with a little humor. I'm going to be talking about, or I am talking about, the solar eclipse. Now, there are lots of ways to perceive the solar eclipse. We can worry about it, and we do know that President Kennedy was assassinated, Reagan had an attempted assassination attempt. Um, there was an assassination attempt on President Taft. Oh, that was a little bit before our time. So those things do happen, okay? But there's another way to perceive it. And if we kind of think about an eclipse, what's going on? Okay, well, first of all, we're in eclipse time because we just had a partial lunar eclipse on the 7th. So we're in this 2-week gap. And so what does an eclipse do? Well, first, it changes the time. I mean, you're daylight and suddenly it's night. Well, you had a serious time alteration. And then on top of that, it goes back to daylight again. Like, what day are we in? But if we understand that the eclipse is a new beginning, so if we think about the solar eclipse as a super new moon, think about that for a second, and new moons are starters, it says we're clearing your time, and you now have an opportunity to expand in time. We have an opportunity to create and rewire our relationship with time. That's pretty interesting. Okay? So suddenly days are changing, times are changing, and we have this opportunity to tune in, reorganize how we are walking through time. Think about that for a second. What does that mean? It means we can reframe how we're relating to the planet. Could we reframe our, in a sense, intent for who we are, for what we're doing? It's a super new start, super new moon, a super new start that gives us a lot of ability or amplifying our intention, the power of our intention to upgrade our walk through time. That gives us an insight of what's going on. Yes, different things can happen, different stresses, and it opens the door. I'm going to call it a doorway to heaven. It opens us up so that we can make some choices about how we are going to live our life. So it's a rare opportunity. I mean, the last solar eclipse was about 100 years ago. Okay, and I don't have the exact date, but the Iroquois Constitution, Iroquois Nation was like, there was a solar eclipse in like 1135. It's a while ago, 900 years ago. So we have these rare opportunities, and it's a time for great spiritual inspiration, if we so choose. Or we can spend time worrying about it. Okay, we have options. The beauty is we have options. Super new moon, new beginnings. So it does give us, if we perceive it that way, an opportunity to pick our place in the spiral. This is a different way of thinking about it. Let's not talk linear. Let's talk spiral, so that time is this way, vertical, and there's a spiral. Now, where are you on the spiral? Do you want to be here in the spiral, which is a lower understanding, or with the opportunity of the super new moon solar eclipse to choose to be here in the spiral rather than here, which is to elevate our consciousness, open up new opportunities. It's almost a magical time shift, if we so choose, to really elevate where we are in our spiritual life, in our relationship to the planet, in our relationship to each other. So it's both our individual intent and our collective intent. What are we doing with it? It's an extremely exciting time. Doesn't mean it's a little bumpy. And I've certainly noticed people really, since the partial lunar eclipse, this 14 days is a time that's a little altered. And people may feel a little strange because we really are going through a subtle time warp. So the key, though, is to say, wow, this is an incredible opportunity to change my walk through time, to access a different level of my walk. Okay? And so that's a beauty, really important beauty. Now, another thing that with the solar eclipse, again, the last full one we had was about 100 years ago, but there's really a total of 77 going through 3,000 something. We're at number 22. Okay, so 22 solar eclipses. It's called Saros, S-A-R-O-S, not Soros, as in George Soros, which in himself will have his own eclipse, right? You can't act that way without being eclipsed at some point. But S-A-R-O-S is what I'm talking about, and it's a cycle over literally thousands of years of 77. We're just number 22. So kind of see that we're part of this kind of very extraordinary time where we have some power over it. Now, one of the things that appears to happen based on people studying what happens with the solar eclipse is usually in the 3 months following it, there's sometimes earth changes, earthquakes, okay? But there's some other things that may happen too. In September 23rd, which puts us within easily the 3 months, there is a pattern that the three wise men did when they discovered Jesus. So we're looking at the energy of Jupiter and Regulus as they come together, and that pattern, September 23rd, could mark the beginning of the Messianic time. That's pretty exciting. Okay? There's I won't go into the details, but just the idea of the configuration at that time within this solar eclipse time, easily within that, could be a major level of Earth consciousness change and not simply earthquakes. We may get those too, but in that 3 month period. What's really important is the quaking of the mind and the waking up of people into a Messianic time. We could be entering that. The configuration is highly suggestible that we may be seeing the morning star. Okay? And so, to me, that's phenomenally good news. So, I'm a little bit of an optimist. I'm going to see it in a certain way, which is, wow, we can remake our walk through time to elevate our consciousness, to elevate where we choose to be on time in the spiral, and that we may literally, according to the astrological times, be entering into Messianic times. So I look forward to this time, which we're already in, as of about 2 days ago, where we have an opportunity to both individually and collectively upgrade our walk on the earth. And upgrade, in the sense, how we walk not only through time, but the totality of our lives in choosing to change our relationship with ourselves and with the planet and with ourselves as a collective. So may everybody be blessed with this understanding and inspiration. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Takyavasa.